Okay, this is right outside our slider door, and over here we have some plants that need to be planted and one lonely basil plant to make it in with my other 30-some basil plants. There's the pool and our pond that we just love so much. It's so pretty this time of year. So let's go out to the garden. Right over here. And again, I'm just showing you as is. I didn't tidy up everything. Here we have like my little herb garden that I can get to quickly. In here this year I planted some kale. I always have lots of basil in here. Little Swiss chard and just thyme and lemon thyme and rosemary, and some lavender. So that's what we have right there. And then we go up the steps right here, and I've got some flowers for a really cool project that I'll show you soon, my palette garden. And there's the laundry. Our dryer's broke today, which we should be hanging it out this time of year anyway. So let's head off to the garden. Walking down, there's the pole barn. We'll head right down here to where the garden is, where the chickens are. It's just gorgeous this time of year. Here's our chicken coop that we put an addition on December 31st. I don't know why we chose that, but that's when we did it. So I'm hoping to paint this something really cute, and it's going to get re-roofed because we're re-roofing our house right now. So let's head on over to the gardens. There's the ladies, 30 some of them. We get 32 to 35 eggs a day, and even our family can't eat that many. Okay, here's my garden, I call it. It's my square foot garden. We've expanded it this year and changed things around a little bit. Over here I'm hoping that there's going to be dill growing, though there's no life yet. Right here is going to be my salads and greens. I already have a little bit of a start here. And then go over here. These beds are 3 feet by 8 feet. I just planted all of our peppers. We've got red and yellow and orange peppers in here. And then the one behind it has cilantro from last year that grew up in it. So I'm just going to let those be. And then strawberries back there. And this was our contraption we built last year to keep the birds out. This year I'm going to put some nice white netting over it. So soon this eyesore will be gone. And over here is a bench that my son Luke made me that I love to sit on out here by the garden. And over here in the bed that was behind the greens is my basil garden. It's 24 plants right there. We make tons of pesto, and maybe you've seen my video on how to harvest basil. And then back here, let me back up a little bit. We changed this. We made this bigger and added some more beds to it. We didn't buy any material. We just had some from other gardens. So this one I made my little herb garden. Got rosemary in the middle, parsley, of course basil, a different kind of basil, some thyme and sage and some mint that I planted in a pot so it didn't take over everything. And over here in these gardens are going to be, I don't know if you can see, the cucumbers are already coming up. See them? All the way down the side, cucumbers in the back and on that one. And in the front of these I have a 1 foot by the length that I can plant. I'm probably going to plant some more pepper plants or maybe some eggplant. And so, and here we go is behind the chicken coop, and this year we planted asparagus, and I was all excited when this came up, but guess what? That's not asparagus, that's just some willows from our pond, so that was sad. But over here we got some asparagus out of the whole bed. So far we've got a few of them popped up, but you're not supposed to pick them the first year anyway, so we'll just kind of let it go. And next year, Lord willing, this whole bed will be full of asparagus. So, making our way around. We have potatoes growing. You hear the chickens in the background? We have potatoes growing wherever we can. So down along the side of our pole barn, which has our scrap wood pile on it, we did 2 huge rows of potatoes. And I don't know if you can see, they're coming up just fine. Brian digs really cool trenches, and then as they're growing up, he scooches the dirt over them, and that way you get more potatoes. And we've just had really good success with potatoes the last several years, so we wanted to grow more. So let's head back to the big garden now. Here's our rhubarb patch. We've already made a bunch of pies for our family and for my dad, who loves rhubarb. We love rhubarb. When I was little, my grandma would sit us kids out by the rhubarb patch, and she would give us a stalk of rhubarb and a little bowl of sugar, and we would sit there and eat it while she picked rhubarb or worked in the garden. My grandma was a huge influence in my life. She was just precious. So here's our garden, and we've been doing a lot of fencing. We have a muskrat that tears apart our garden. So we've been finding fencing from all over the yard, anywhere we can, to fence it in. But we've changed this around a little bit this year too. Right along here, you can see them coming up. It's going to be all pole beans. I don't know, I think it's 24 feet long. And then haven't even planted all of it yet. Right here, that bed, and then down this row is going to be bush beans all the way down to here. And then over here are Joshua's strawberries that he planted last year, and they look fabulous this year, and so we put an extra bed here for them to grow into. They don't like to stay in the bed though. Over here is another row that we haven't planted yet, all the way to here, and I think that's going to be bush beans or pickled cucumbers if I can find some more seeds. Over here is our brassica patch. We've got kale down at the bottom, and broccoli, and then at the very end here we have Brussels sprouts. They don't have their netting on them yet like this does. Last year, if you read my gardening post, you knew we had horrible worms in our broccoli and cabbage, and so this year I had done some reading, and we have, I think they're called a floating row cover, and I just went to fabric store and got some inexpensive wetting tool, it was called, and it keeps the little white cabbage moths from laying eggs into my cabbage. So I'm excited about that. I always love my cabbage patch. It's just so beautiful. I love the purple and the green. So we're excited about that this year. So now let's go over to the big garden, and we expanded this even more, probably a good 12 feet on each side this year. That's why we needed more fencing. Here we have our tomatoes. I started them from seed. We have some brandywines, Cherokee purples, some Amish paste, green zebras, something called stew pice, and last year it worked so well. We put newspaper down, or we had old chicken feed bags that we laid out and put the straw over them, and it kept quite a bit of the weeds down. The wind had a windstorm the other day and it blew this row over. We're going to have to fix that. And we ran out of chicken feed bags, so it's newspaper. And that just kind of, it's a good mulch. If you use just straw, which we found out one year, your weeds will go right through it. So that's why you need several layers of newspaper or paper bags or something underneath it. So we have, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows of tomatoes, 7 deep, and we have soaker hoses on them this year, which were given to us by my stepdad, and so we're loving that. And over here, it's kind of funny, even though we rototilled this thing, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, we still have a rogue potato plant from last year. And down this row